Miss Transforce 96 here. With another video, I'm going to be talking about a few new items that have been kind of like leaked out from the figures of Transformers the last night. We have two items here. One's going to be Skullitron, and then the other is Nitro. So very excited about these two. And you know, I completely forgot to do this when they were first revealed, so I'm sorry that I'm getting to you late. However, they're both really quite cool, and there's a fair amount that I'd want to say about each of them. So better late than never. Going to start it off here. So first of all, before we talk about the Decepticon, let's talk about Skullitron, which apparently by the box does say he's a Decepticon. However, that doesn't seem to be what he is in the movie, or at least it doesn't mean the traditional sense of a Decepticon. But let's go over it. First of all, as you can see, it is very similar to a previous figure that we've already seen, Steelbane. That Steelbane figure I did cover when it was revealed at New York Toy Fair this year in February, and I wasn't a big fan of it. It doesn't look like a movie design to me personally. It looks very like cartoon show type of look. It doesn't look like a movie design, which is why I didn't particularly like it. I wasn't a big fan of all the colors on it as well, and I didn't like the dragon mold that it turned into. I didn't like the fact that his head was like a dark color, and then the rest of his body was a really mellow color. It just looked very strange. This is obviously this new figure is a new member of the Knights, basically. What these have now been confirmed to be are the Knights of Cybertron, and apparently what their deal is in the movie, and why they're fighting Optimus Prime in the movie. This is a bit of spoilish as far as the plot, but not how things turn out. But the idea is that these Knights are there to stop the evil Optimus Prime from sending like an artifact to the Quintesson or whatever, and these are the Knights that are meant to protect that item. So that's why they're attacking Optimus Prime there, to stop him from sending it off to the main villain of the film, basically. And then on top of that, there's the Inferno Cons that are there to help Optimus Prime to send it off. It sounds very complicated. There are so many characters and so many different factions in this movie. I'm a little worried it's getting very crowded, but we'll see how it turns out. But nonetheless, here's the new design. I like it a lot. I think this looks a lot more movie-ish to me. The shoulder pads, it's essentially the same thing. However, it has a different torso and a different head, and then completely new paint. It looks a lot more like what we've seen in the movie. As you can see there, that bottom image is of these characters in the movie. And just the color scheme of it looks more movie-ish. The way that there's some greenish mixed in with like a copper color, that looks movie-ish to me. The other just kind of cream colors didn't look very movie to me. Now there is a worry that that's obviously an official image, so who knows? Maybe the final product won't look that good. But from this, it looks quite good. The face, it's hard to tell what his face is like. His face reminds me of the villains in Suicide Squad, the mindless little minions. He's got a face like that. I don't know. I can't really see much detail in there. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be like specific eyes or mouth in that, but I can't see it. But nonetheless, I like that design a lot better. If I'm going to get one of these, I'll definitely get Skullitron. However, I might end up getting them all. We'll see how many they do, and if they're all just, repaints with a different torso and a different head for each one. I mean, they would look pretty cool together like that. However, I don't know if it's necessary to buy them. But if I get one, I'd stick with the one on the left there. I think that does look better, and I am interested to see these characters in the movie. I hope that they're interesting. Then we move on to the character I'm a little more interested in is Nitro. I'm a big Decepticon fan. Decepticons are like the big reason that I like Transformers. So I was very disappointed in the last film that there wasn't any Decepticons, because Lockdown wasn't quite a Decepticon. He was kind of a mercenary bounty hunter. And then the other Decepticons were just drones created by humans that were just there to die. So I am very happy to actually get official Decepticons back in this movie, and Nitro being one of them. Nitro looks quite cool. I'm seeing everybody say that he looks like Shockwave. Now, personally, I don't think he looks like Shockwave in the slightest. He's got the same head as Shockwave. From the images that we see of him in the movie, it looks like he has Shockwave's head. And then other than that, he looks completely different. I know that he has a gun on one arm, but that's a lot of Decepticons have a gun on one arm, and you can still see his hand on that arm. It's not like he just has a gun arm, you know. So I really don't understand why everybody says that he looks like Shockwave. I think that they're seeing the head and then they just automatically say, well, he looks like Shockwave, but it's really just the head. Everything else is a completely new mold. There's not a single piece of him other than the head that's reused from Shockwave. So just to get that out of the way, he is a unique Decepticon, and I'm getting kind of tired of everybody just saying that he's Shockwave, because he's not. But anyway, let's go over this. The figure looks pretty decent. The figure is a little odd, though, as far as the head of the figure looks like Soundwave. So I don't, it looks like they just repainted a Soundwave head. Now, I'm hoping that that's just because this is, kind of a blurry picture, and it's obviously the back of a package of a figure. It's a small image to begin with. So, it's a bit of a blurry image. It's hard to see. So I'm hoping that that's not the case. I'm hoping that he reuses a Shockwave head, or he has a unique head that, is more like the movie one, because the figure does not look like a Shockwave head. It really doesn't at all. But other than that, I definitely see Nitro from the trailer. I see him in this figure. The legs, I think, look very nice. I like the touches of gold on him, looking very cool. You can see it in his feet, a bit on his legs, and then in his abdomen section, looking very nice. I do like the thrusters, and you've got his missiles there on the back, as you can see in the film. And his arms are a little thin, as compared to what we see of him in the movie. His arms are thin, and he does have a gun on the right arm there. Wish that the arms were bulked up a bit, but other than that, it looks like a really solid figure. I'm very excited for this. I'm huge into Decepticons, so much so that I think that I will be doing a video soon where I'm going to talk about just kind of breaking down the Decepticons of the last night and the figures that we have seen of them so far and what they could do for the remainder that we haven't seen figures from. So if you're interested in that, let me know, because I might work on getting that video out to you guys faster. But very excited that we have Nitro. Now, what he transforms into, I have no idea. Obviously, we've seen from set pictures, we've seen the alt modes of all the other Decepticons in this movie, except for Megatron, because he's a Cybertronian jet. So that would lend to the idea that Nitro would be something Cybertronian, or they just don't show him transform in the movie. He uses a unique design, and usually when they have throwaway Decepticons, they reuse a previous design like they're doing with Berserker. So I would imagine that if he was just a throwaway Decepticon, they would reuse a previous design for him, and therefore we wouldn't see his transformation in the movie because he's just there to die for a second. So because of that, I would imagine that we will see him in his alt mode, even if it's a very small scene of him just arriving with the rest of the group. I would imagine that would be the case. So therefore, I would guess that he probably has a Cybertronian mold. My idea is that he probably Megatron's going to have a scene where he needs to be flying, land somewhere, and then say something to one of his Decepticon minions so that they can send a message or that they can do something. And they just picked Nitro to do that with, just because they needed one Decepticon to be able to fly with Megatron so that he could talk to them when they got to their destination. Just a very quick, small scene that's really just there to move a plot point forward for the Decepticons. That would be my guess as to why he is special and why he transforms into a Cybertronian plane rather than an actual human vehicle. That's just my guess, though. We'll have to see when the movie comes out, and obviously when we see the figure's official transformation, we'll get a little bit more into that. If he doesn't transform in the movie, I mean, the figure's obviously still going to have a transformation, but if it looks like something plausible to be seen in the movie, then it would make sense. But anyway, very excited to get a Nitro figure. So far, out of the 7 Decepticons in this movie, we have figures for 4 of them, which is very good. The first Transformers movie was the only movie where we actually got Decepticon figures from all Decepticons in the movie. So since then, we're missing figures of Decepticons that have been in the movies. So it looks like there's a good chance that we might get all the Decepticons from this movie. That would be wonderful. But anyway, really loving this Nitro figure. That's going to be a must-have. I'm unclear if it's a Deluxe or a Voyager. I believe it's a Voyager, though. But it could be a Deluxe. I'm not quite sure. Then we have Skullitron, which I believe is a Voyager. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think of these figures, and if you'd like to see a video of mine where I break down the Decepticons in this movie and what their figures are or how I think that the figures can be made. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you guys think.